we will be starting out with one of the very best topic that is, as per my knowledge, is all about EC square. So what we are going to do is that we are going to deploy one of the machine. One of the machine I told you, that is, we are first of all we will be creating an Amazon virtual machine. That is a machine which is being remotely will be given to us or will be allocated virtually by the Amazon, and on this particular machine we will try to connect. Once we establish this machine, that is EC2 instance, okay, then the machine, the configurations will be do as per the machine, means how much disk space that will be required, how much memory efficiency, memory or RAM that we want, and how much terabytes of hard disk that we'll be requiring on this particular instance of the EC2. And then after that, we will, after configuring this machine, we can log into this machine through SSH protocol that I have shown. So this is your desktop and you should have a putty installed with you. So once you are configuring your EC2, so Amazon will give you a .pm extension file which you can generate an RSA token key with your putty, and then you will generate an ppk file dot extension which you can use to get authenticate. So this authentication I will be showing you right now, that how it is being happening. And ultimately when you get this machine, there is no Java virtual JVM environment is being set up. So these are the few commands that we fire it out as the normal Unix or Linux commands that are there to verify, and then at the last we verify that JDK session has been configured. So let's welcome today's session. It's more about understanding EC square instance, creating an EC square instance, then connecting your putty with that EC square instance, and then deploying in Spring Boot application and running that Spring Boot application on EC square instance of the Amazon. So before starting this session, as always, I am Saral Saxena on this side, and I am coming up with a lot of tutorials that may be helping you out. So if you have any queries, you can post me here. You can send me as a request and or as a message, and I will be reverting back to your queries and whatever answers that you have. Apart from this, I am publishing a lot of articles on various topics, so you can go and you can check out those articles if you think, and all the videos, they all will be mentioned within my this LinkedIn profile section. So please do check in these things always, and make sure that you have an idea of what is going on in terms of technology, as I always keep myself updated with a lot of things about DevOps, about ASDS, about microservice and all those things. Okay, so this is the simple application that I have right now with me. uh, this is a simple application which has a simple controller. So it's just that I am generated a jar of this, and as I told you, with this jar I will be keeping it in my S3 bucket. So how to deal with S3 buckets, and what is S3? So I'm telling you in very short. If you wanted to get in-depth knowledge, so please check out my earlier video about on how to upload a file on S3 bucket. But since if anybody has joined in between, so let me tell you, whatever the static data that we have is always kept in a bucket, and that is called Amazon S3 bucket. So right now what is happening is that we'll keep this artifact, that is this jar file, into that S3 bucket, and from there we will be always getting a reference of this jar file, that is this artifact. So let me run this application on local. Right now I'm running this application on port 8080. So this is simple spring based application. If I will running this application, so yes, you can check in the logs, this is being getting running, and I can access this application as it told me that this application is being registered on port 8080. So let's say if I have to access this application, then what I can do is that localhost 8080 is being coming up, and even I could have done like chat. It's a checkbook application, so I must have run it out somewhere before, and this shows me a message that this application is up on running port 8080, and which is the just a simple application message that I am been showing you, that this application is being running on port 8080. Okay, so let's say if I close this application, and the same thing that I want, Amazon cloud to be get deployed and running on Amazon EC square instance machine. Okay, so what I will be doing is I will be keeping this artifact. Okay, this artifact itself I will be keeping up on the Amazon EC square instance, and this is the content of that artifacts. So let's begin with our instance and all those things. This is something earlier that I was been doing now. So guys, as I told in my earlier section also, that you have to create a free tier account under AWS. So AWS free tier account is completely free for a year, and when you are configuring your EC2, which you can see it right now, so you have to choose those machines which are available under free tier. Rest other machine, if you wanted to configure itself, Amazon machine images, if you want to configure them, you will get charged. So best thing is about EC2 is that once you are going, you have to create your first instance, and this can be done by saying a launch instance or something like this, where you can see a lot of virtual machine images are being available. So what I'm saying is that whatever available under free tier eligible, please go for those only, because your account is free tier eligible account, and you can go for other, but I won't recommend you because those things are chargeable. So right now what I have choose is that Amazon Linux 2 AMI machine. The reason for choosing this over this is that a lot of new versions of packages being already in there. Apart from this, it do supports under free tier SUSE Linux versions also, and I believe, let me check, it also support Windows versions. Okay, Windows versions are available of server under free tier eligible account. Okay, so these are the steps. If you want to configure an Amazon machine image, you have to choose the instance type and configure that instance, add the storage that I was telling you, add some tags and configure security groups, and then review that. But right now what I am doing is that I will be preparing a very separate video of how to configure an Amazon machine instances. Here this is my instance is being running, and as you can see, it is being in the running state. I have configured the instances. From here you can start, stop and reboot and terminate the same. This is the public IP. This always get changed when I will be stopping out and be starting out with my new instance or the same instance, and all these configurations and status checks monitorings have been there. It is being showing you in the monitoring track that how much bytes or utilizations have been done. So all the matrices will be available here, but right now in very short I will be coming up on the separate video of how to configure an Amazon machine images, because there are 4 5 steps that is has to be done, and basis on that, if 4 5 steps that you have configured, then you got an .pm certificate extension file with you, which you have to map with your putty, so that with an SSH protocol you can go and you can configure. So let me show you 4 5 things that I have done. First is that S3 bucket image. Let me show you that S3 bucket image. What has happened in that S3 bucket image is that I have kept or have created one bucket, and I have given it a public access. So guys, please make sure, because a lot of people have been doing mistakes that they are not giving the public access to the bucket. So this is something very recommended. Otherwise, whenever you try to access your deployed application, you will be getting a lot of errors. To make sure that under this bucket, I have kept the contents name, let go under this bucket. So this is the same jar file that I have kept, the same jar file which I was being shown you as an artifact here. Okay, so this is the same jar file which has I have generated that jar file by running the maven build, and once this jar file with it, I have uploaded this jar file here. So S3 bucket is used to hold our dedicated resources. Okay, now again going to the group policy of EC2 instance, because I have already configured one instance, so all the details of this is being coming here. So there is a policy that you have to configure is about security group. So let me check it about that policy about security groups. Yeah, so this is the policy of the security group. So this is the external security group that I have created myself when I was configuring an EC2 instance, and in the inbound I have mentioned that I may be connecting through the putty to my this virtual machine, as I showed you in that image also once I started out with my those images. So let me come to here to explain you better more so that you can grasp a lot. What I was trying to explain you कि once you have an AVS machine EC2 instance that is being configured, then you need some protocols so that you can communicate with your own Windows desktop environment with this machine. So for that there are a lot of protocols are available, but when I was configured the security group policy for the EC2 instance, I have choose here right now all the traffic, which is not recommended in the production environment. So never choose all the traffic, since this is kind of a POC that I was been doing. So I have to choose the all traffic. Make sure that don't choose all the traffic option. You choose SSH communication and all the traffic right now for the POC based, so that your SSH protocol can connect with your EC2 virtual machine, EC2 virtual machine of AWS with port 22 settings. So this is what I was trying to show you right now. uh, this was I was trying to show you in my Amazon configuration. So let me go back to my Amazon configuration. This is, I'm just trying to show you that it's showing port U22. So one more thing that I have to show you right now, that which files it allocates to you. Okay, so that you may have all the details with you. Just a minute. So this gives you a one file, that is a certificate file, and basis on that you have to go and you have to generate a key in the putty. Okay, so this I will be coming up in a separate tutorial for this, and through that, once your RSA key generator is there, okay, you have to map this file. So let me show you about that thing of putty, because I think you can grasp a lot about. I don't know whether everyone has an access on ID on that. There is something called putty generator, in which you have to generate your key, you have to provide your you have to load your private key. Here certificate this file, this will generate some private key, and then you have to save that private key. And once you are saving that private key, your ppk file is being generated, and once you are trying to log in through the normal putty, you have to provide this generated ppk file, which is generated from previous pem.extension file. So this is something here, so that every time when you log into putty, let's suppose if I'm clicking a new session, so if you can see in an ssh protocol, under ssh protocol, you can go ahead and you can see under authorization, in authorization, I think there is one port. uh, in authorization, it was, yeah, there was a port, and where you will map your this .ppk file extension here. Okay, so that every time putty remembers you, yeah, this is the machine to which virtual machine that you are trying to connect to this virtual machine. So boss, this is our EC2 instance, which is right now up and running. Okay, and it is showing us, and make sure guys, I am highlighting few things that you have to make sure that once you're done with your POC under free TerraCon, you have to make sure that you have to close this instance of the into the stop mode. The reason behind stopping this is just because this is underchargeable. I think, I'm not sure, for about 650 or 750 hours in a month it is being given at a free of cost, even in your free tier account. So if you are covering up that much hours or exhausting that much hours in a month, then that is being chargeable. So it is best either you can stop, and if you have done your POCs, so that you doesn't come under your chargeable category. So this is the thing I have shown you, that I have kept the things. This is instance is being running. I have kept the things. Let's go to the service dashboard about this application, and I have kept my static artifacts that has been generated by the Maven after, and in this public bucket here itself. Now I have connected to my EC2 instance. Okay, and where this is showing that it is being connected to Amazon A2I machine virtual image. And what I have done is that I have pulled my generated jar file, which was kept in S3 bucket here at this current directory itself, and then I have issued a command of simple generating java jar minus java minus jar, that extension to bring up, and this brings up my Spring Boot application. But this is all is happening under right now under the virtual machine which we have configured. And at the last we can see that the application has been started out. Okay, so it is saying that Tomcat has started out on port 8080 right now. So it believes that our application is up. Now once we are accessing our application, we have to make sure how we are accessing that application. Okay, so I'm going into the services under the EC2 too. So here it is showing us our an IP4 version URL. So if you go into the running instances, yeah, you can see IP4 version URL, it is being coming up. So copy this and paste it out here, and after that, since it is running on port 8080, so I have clicked 8080, and then chatbook application chat I have given. So that is showing that application is being up and running. Okay, so the application is up and running right now. Okay, so this is something that your application is up and running and you can access it out anywhere. So this is showing, let's say first if I copy out this, and let's say if I paste it out here, so this is also showing me that message is being coming. So this means that our application which we have there is being deployed successfully. So that's why I wanted to show you out. So it is showing out in some message headers. I have to go it out and I have to check it out. It is showing me that data mirror scripts, and it is showing me a lot of encryptions. So this is something that I wanted to show you out in terms of this. And anything specific that you wanted to know, yeah, you can know from me about anything specific that you think that I may not be able to explain you out. So this is the very simple way that we can deploy our application on EC2 instance and This is simple. So the configuration that has to be done in terms of putty. And let me know, guys. This is one of the method that I have told you right now to deploy and to have your EC2 instance configured. So and let me summarize one thing once again so that you guys are confident enough that you have configured your EC2, you have created your virtual machine images, amazing machine images, and you have provided all the configurations and with the protocols you are trying to access, and you have kept your jar files and artifacts into an S3 setup with data bucket. And once you try to log in through the putty after doing an SSH protocol configurations at the backend, also you are just simply running up your application after setting up the virtual environment and the JVM environment details, which are highlighted here, the commands, because by default JVM is not installed. So this is how you have to be very careful. And once you're running, you are successfully executing, and you can see in the logs of the EC2 machine that I'm trying to show you that your application Spring Boot logo comes up and your application is up and running, and you similarly access that application as it happens into the normal. So guys, please provide me your feedbacks if you have any queries over these, and do subscribe to my channels, and let me know if you're still not able to grasp it out anything, or you think that I am missing. You can post me your queries on LinkedIn and we can get in touch from there onwards. So this is all about configuring, loading your Spring Boot artifacts into an S3 bucket and running them on an EC2 Square instance. Hope you understand it out. Please post me any queries that you have, and I'm happy to answer to your queries. Have a great weekend, guys. All the very best. Thank you.